We're back on another episode of Sports Slice, and I am joined by Aaron Jenkins, the owner of Ultimate Quarterback and a former collegiate and pro quarterback himself. How are you doing, Aaron?
Great. How you doing?
Not too bad. It was crazy travel this week, but finally got to get you on. And we're going to go right into it. So you kind of have, and you told me about it, you kind of have one of the more unique collegiate playing experiences
Yeah.
and stories and careers that I have literally ever heard. So
Yeah.
just take a second and kind of explain your upbringing and whatnot and how you kind of got to the point that you're at now.
Yeah. I mean, obviously don't want to bore everybody, but originally from Youngstown, Ohio. And I don't know if you know much about Ohio football in general. Like it's a huge, football state. So came from obviously from Youngstown, Ohio. Went to Canfield High School, and Canfield was known for obviously it's football. We were predominantly a football school, and put the best put your best athlete at quarterback, and kind of go to work, and that was kind of like my job pretty much every single week. And played pretty much every single position for Canfield: kick returner, punt returner, quarterback, wide receiver, running back. I did literally everything. So recruiting wise, that was 2015. So at the time, there was no really such thing as other than Johnny Manziel. So at that time, everybody said it's only Johnny, nobody else can do it, kind of thing. So recruiting wise, every school, that I talked to just wanted me to play with wide receiver. It was, just because I would take the ball and run, and, I wasn't really developed as a quarterback, but mentally I wanted to play quarterback. I knew I could be playing quarterback. And I knew I could be really good at it. It just, kind of stunk because I saw a lot of the kids in the area getting all this development and training. And I come from a single family, just me and my mom, and she never really had money for training. So, just was just an athlete. So fast forward, went to Notre Dame College in Cleveland. That was where I started as a receiver. And I went there knowing that I needed to get my grades up. I didn't really have the best grades in high school, and be completely honest. And so my main vision was go there, get some reps at wide receiver, learn at wide receiver, because I never really played it at that level. And got, a really good GPA. And that's when I entered the portal. I would say that I was like the first person in that time, in that era, in like 2015, 2016, where, you have to do the whole compliance, and you have to sit out a year and do this. And so
Right.
I was okay with that. So I ended up reaching out to a couple coaches, and one of the coaches that was recruiting me was at Robert Morris, and went to Robert Morris, and wanted to go there as a receiver. I was totally fine with it. I was like, if I'm going to play receiver, I'm going to play at a very high level and just try to, have a successful career. Fast forward 2 weeks into the spring season, they let go the entire coaching staff. So I said, shot a text to the coach. I said, hey, coach, where you at? I was like, you want to hit a lift? And he's like, hey, Aaron, I'll give you a call later. Stuff happened. I was, just got there, just had my mom do so much stuff to kind of get me there. And she wasn't there. He wasn't there. So they got fired. So I was like, you know what? I'm here. I asked Coach Miller, Mike Miller. He was the offensive coordinator for the Arizona Cardinals when they went to the Super Bowl to play the Steelers. So I just asked him straight up, said, hey, listen, I don't mind waiting until my senior year. I was like, let me develop as a quarterback. I think that's a great opportunity for me. I knew the guys playing quarterback there, and I'm like, I'm really not that far behind. Like, all I really need is just, I guess, development in a sense. So he wasn't having it. He wasn't there long. And at that point, I just was like, I'm just not enjoying football at all, remotely. So this is obviously, am I still with you? You still following? Obviously,
Oh,
it's a little,
yeah.
this is kind of like the beginning stages. It all ties together. And then, I came home that summer, and I just made a decision. I was like, dude, I just don't enjoy football in college. And I'm like, what do I do? And I remember my grandma told me, she was like, kind of, you got to finish where you started. And I was like, all right, well, let me look at some of these smaller schools. And I remember to this day, I remember this guy named Rick Shepis came in from Waynesburg, and he was just like, hey, listen, you can come play. I'll make sure that you have the best equipment. We can do something to kind of get you there. So I went there, and it was, obviously a smaller school. So like I was just playing everything at that point in time, wide receiver, quarterback, kick returner, punt returner. So it was just pretty much high school football in that sense. It was okay. I didn't really enjoy it, but that's when I found out that my mom had stage 4 lymphoma. And just coming from like, just her and it kind of hit me kind of in a different way because I was kind of scared because I didn't want to be, at school, something happening. So, I just decided to step away, and, I thought that was it for football for me. And me and my best friend at the time, we opened up a influencer agency, and we were, traveling the world, which was kind of really fun, and did a lot of really cool things with that. And I think in 2019 or 2018, we went to a lake. He jumped off to go to the bathroom, and he ended up drowning. And obviously, that's something you can't really, put into words on what that is. But
Right.
again, like one thing that kind of just brought me back to life. It's just like I got to get back in football, right? I got to get back in football. So this is like a year and a half after I'm done playing, and how college football is. It's like nobody wants you if you're not playing.
Yeah, the
So
world just keeps on moving.
yeah, so one thing about me is like I don't really kind of take no for an answer. So I've reached out to like every single school, and I remember to this day. I think if you go on my one email that I was using just for coaches, I literally took every single conference, Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, and every single day at my goal was to email 25 coaches. So I emailed 25 coaches every single day. I think I got back maybe like 50 or 60 responses, submitted, did the whole transcript thing. And one coach only really took the chance on me, and that was Coach Lynn, and that's in Alfred State. I said, hey, listen, take a chance on me kind of thing, and, I'll give you my all. So that's what I did. It was COVID year. So I had nothing else to do, but I was in Key West, and I was stuck there, nothing else to do but train and kind of get everything ready to go. Got there that fall, and I did pretty much everything I said I was going to do. We ended up winning a conference championship. We ended up playing in a bowl game, first time ever. I ended up breaking every single school record in a single season. And but what was unique was my very first game. It was September 3rd. I'll never forget it because I went out for the coin toss. I came back in for the locker room, and I had 100 missed calls. And I just like clicked it. I just checked my phone, and my grandmother told me that my mom had passed away because she was battling cancer that time. So that game, it just kind of fueled me, and I never really looked back. And I've just been on a mission kind of this to kind of get everything, done and finish what I started. And it's kind of just all led back to football. So that's kind of like where I'm at right now. And obviously had a really successful career there, and went on and signed a contract to go play with Albany with Coach Menace. And Coach Menace was amazing. He's been bouncing around a little bit right now, but he's one of the most successful arena football coaches there are. And that's when the good old Antonio Brown situation happened. So, at that time, I really didn't know what to expect because I took I guess really the chance of playing in the States and playing arena rather than going playing like overseas in like Germany or Italy. Because I did,
Right.
my son was just born at that time. So
Mhm.
yeah, that was just a mess. I mean, got to talk to him on the phone, and it was just like, I mean, I don't want to like impersonate him on camera, but it was just like not a good situation. And I
Right.
heard through the grapevine that like it could obviously fall through. And sure enough, I went with my gut feeling because again, like I just had a son. I'm like, I'm not trying to like go all the way out there. And then exactly what happened, players are getting left, they're not getting paid. And it was about to go under. Unfortunately, But so I'm glad that I didn't make that decision. And stepped, obviously that was kind of the end of my, like, football career would have been, kind of thing. And moved to Tampa, Florida, started with a quarterback company called Jenkins Elite. We're not related at all. I applied because it just had the last name, but they're one of the biggest, quarterback companies in the world. They just are. And so they moved me to Florida, and 2 weeks later, Peacock reached out and was like, "Hey, we want you to be in the WWE." I'm like, "What the heck?" And I thought it was fake. I
Right.
thought it was just like a scam. Like I don't know. I didn't know what to expect. It was just like a recruiter, just kind of like a recruiter reaching out to you saying, "Hey, we want to recruit you." And I didn't even have furniture in the house, so they ended up flying down HBO and Peacock to film the WWE Next Gen. Flew me out to Los Angeles to WrestleMania. Found out that I have, the valve disease that I have is not what is on the guidelines for them. And I'm like, "What do you mean? I've been playing football my entire life." Um, so had to like do the TV show where it's like all dramatic and I can't compete, and it's TV, so it's kind of very.
Right. Right. They gotta build it up a little bit.
Yeah, they had me like looking in the mirror like this is my last chance at being an athlete. It was just like, what are we doing? But I mean, it was a cool experience. Met a lot of really cool people. Obviously, Oklahoma fan. Got to meet Caleb Kelly. They just recruit athletes now, so it's just all athletes. So I got to meet a lot of really
Right.
cool people. And in
Yeah,
fact,
I think the Cavender twins were on that too.
yeah, they were
The
they were
the
there.
influencers.
They were there when we were. They were there when we were at Los Angeles. Like, I mean, everybody was there during that tryout. I mean, it was like DK Metcalf was running routes like on the practice field at UCLA. The Cavender twins, or however you say the last name, they were standing there. Um, they had, I mean, it was just cool. Triple H and Shawn Michaels, like childhood people you watch, like are casually just having conversations with you, just chopping it up. I'm just like, this is kind of wild. Um,
Right.
so yeah, kind of just, kind of did that. And they wanted me to go get cleared because I argued with them. I'm like, "Dude, I'm fine to land on my back on this mat. Like, I promise you, I've been hit from the
Right.
back. Pause. I've been hit when I'm not looking by bigger human beings than a mat, So I ended up getting cleared, paying for like a TE. They went down, did like a whole thing for me. I get cleared, go to SummerSlam, end up being on call, and it was for me. So fast forward, I'm here now. I have my fiance, baby number two's on the way to be here in August, and then
A little shout out for that.
yep, and now just grinding. I stay busy, so I just do a lot,
Nice. Dude, that's it. And like I said, how we started, like that's just a unreal story. Like that is like there's just so many parts that at the end of the day, it all gets tied back to football. And like I just like when you shared the story with me, like nobody knows that. Like there's so many things that I feel like we see athletes as like just the face value,
hmm
but a lot of people don't realize like the behind the scenes stuff and like the family things, the family dynamics that occur.
Yeah,
Um, and it's one of those things that I feel like a lot of fans also kind of forget about,
big time.
when they look at their favorite athlete in the world and they think they're a superhero, which in some ways they are.
Some of
But at
them,
the end of
yeah.
the day, like we're all human and we all deal with, different things behind the scenes. And that's just, like I said, that's an unreal story. Um, but so we're going to kind of unravel some of that. So you and I are kind of in the same in some of these different things with your collegiate career. So we were both pre true NIL transfer portal. We were both kind of at the beginning. I played in the NAIA. So
What school is
2020
it?
they actually Mayville State in North
I
Dakota.
have a kid that plays at, I think it's called, they're the Vikings. I think it's North Dakota.
Valley City
Yeah,
State.
Valley City
That's our
State.
rival.
Yeah, that's
Yep. Yeah, we don't talk about them.
my
We don't
quarterback. The
talk about
quarterback
them.
I train, Eli, he goes there. He's the starting quarterback there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. No, I think he's like number 13.
yeah.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, we don't talk about that school
Yeah,
here.
that's funny.
um, but so I transferred. I started out at a school in South Dakota, Presentation College. Shout out Presentation, they closed. They don't exist
I
anymore.
remember them.
Yep. So I was there 2017 to 2018, and decided to transfer. So I was, a couple years before this NIL portal and whatnot. And my decision was just solely off of coaching staff had left, and didn't really have like the personal connection to, the guys that were there, the intern staff. What kind of led, and I know you kind of touched on it a little bit, like what was your deciding factors for, entering the pre-portal
Yeah.
portal, and kind of what were your thoughts about it? Like, did you know that you were going to land somewhere, or was it just kind of like just a shot in the dark, throw a dart at the board and say, hey, let's do this?
I think one of the biggest things is, and it's, I think it took me a second, and it was more of I was trying to chase a jersey, if that makes sense. I was trying to chase a jersey, like
Yep.
being able to wear an Ohio State jersey or a Robert Morris jersey, just wearing a jersey to say like I played for Robert Morris. And where I'm from in Youngstown, it's like everybody's trying to sign to these big schools, and it's just like that's like on this vision. So it took me a while to like transition from chasing a jersey to like chasing a legacy, and that's something where I wish I would have known kind of throughout this all. And again, like coming from like a single family home, like you don't really have much guidance, especially like your mom. Your mom's just like agreeing with you. Um, Especially not having like a father figure in your ear, but hearing coaches at the time, like you're getting told everything you want to hear,
Right.
everything you want to hear. But I didn't really have a plan. I just wanted to play. And I knew that was, I would say, more talented than a lot of individuals that were getting recruited in our area. And a lot of the reason was because of grades. Um, so I wanted to take a chance on me, and I think that I was good enough. I just needed to take a chance and kind of get myself out of there, and do it myself. So that's just kind of like my memo in general. Like I just do it on my own. I'm not going to wait for anybody else to do it for me. So
100%. And I think you said some good stuff there with, I think, especially now with the dynamic of college football and the state of college football, where you see these guys getting 5-6 million dollar NIL
yeah,
deals to transfer from a Norfolk State to a Ohio State sort of thing. I think we're seeing, a lot of the high school, a lot of the younger guys are seeing these big numbers thrown around and saying, "Hey, like I'll go sit at UCLA for a year or two and then go to a Texas Tech because I'll get $1 million NIL."
yeah,
And we're seeing less guys focus on, let's be honest, like not everybody's a Division 1 FBS Power 4 kid.
hmm,
Like it's just it is what it is. Not everybody's a FCS kid, like, but everybody wants to chase that, like what you said, chase the jersey, not necessarily the legacy. And I think that's a thing also of the product of where some of these guys are coming from. So like myself in Arizona, like truthfully, I know like Arizona Christian was an NAIA, is an NAIA in Arizona, but up until my senior year, I had no idea what the NAIA was. I truly thought that it was like just a part of like the JUCO
I had no
system.
idea what it was
Uh,
either.
right, and like I feel like that's a not necessarily a disservice, but like a thing that like a lot of the younger guys need to understand of like, hey, like if you're an NAIA or Division 3 guy, go and chase the dream. Play college football, ball out for 3 years, 4 years, and then maybe you get that opportunity your last year or your second to last year where a Division
Oh
two or
yeah,
an FCS team comes up and says, "Hey, like let's make it happen."
yeah. I mean, one of the everything you just said was like completely spot on, and that's what I tell a lot of my kids now that I train. It's like if I would have had that year at Alfred State as a freshman, like in today, I would have 1000% entered the portal, and I would have ended at a Robert Morris on a full ride scholarship, no walk on, no bullshit. It would have been the easiest thing on earth. But again, everybody is chasing a graphic for their Instagram. It is the craziest thing in the world. I have multiple different kids that I am very close with that I coach and like I love them to death. And I'm like, dude, listen, as your coach, like as one of your coaches, because like these kids in Florida, they use multiple different coaches, which is totally fine because, you know, sometimes like the quarterback coach or like that coach is closer to you than you are sometimes with your family. So it's like I would never like remove somebody or talk bad about another coach in that manner. But it's like, dude, if you're getting told that you're a Division 1 guy just because like they want you to train with them for $20 on Saturday, come on, dude. Like they just want the graphics. It's the craziest thing. And I'm
Right.
like, do you understand? Like, you have yet to play a game. You have yet to start. You have yet to do anything remotely great for your school. And we're chasing Florida State. I said, do you understand that there's Kent State, Akron, Toledo, Bowling Green, Cincinnati? Then on top of it, do you have all of the list of Division 2 schools that are powerhouses like Ferris State, all the schools in North Dakota, South Dakota? It's like, why aren't you like talking or like even remotely thinking about it? Is it just because it's not like a cool thing to post right now? Like, I mean, if I had a fast forward, if I had an offer from South Dakota, North Dakota, and that was it, like I'm going. If I had a
Right.
NIAA school and that was it, like Lawrence Tech, or what was the one that was the NIAA, Lindsey Wilson, or there's
Yep.
one in
Oh,
Indiana that I remember we played against. Can't remember who is. They were pretty good, but like you get half scholarship paid for, and like you get to go play football and then maybe hit the transfer portal. So I mean, it makes no sense to me, but at the same time, like I feel like that's today's society in general. It's really about just showing what you got on your Instagram, and believe it or not, I'm sure you see it too. It's like these coaches are giving offers, like verbal offers, to anybody, and they're posting them. I'm
yep.
like, you got to be kidding me! Like there is no
Yeah.
way.
I mean, there's so many cases, and will not disclose what schools they are, but there's a lot of schools at all levels, maybe not so much, the FBS, FCS level, but you've got a handful of NAIAs, some Division 3s, some Division 2s that literally offer every single kid in America, it seems like. They're throwing out 300 offers, and then they come back and say, "Hey, this offer is only good until this date. You have until this date to sign. If you don't sign with us, we're taking your offer back." It
Yeah,
is the most ridiculous thing, and I feel personally bad for, these high schoolers that are coming up now because of the portal, because there's so many. All the bigger, better schools are, going after guys in the portal because you've got a 22-year-old sophomore who has already fully developed versus, an 18-year old incoming freshman that has never played a snap of college football. And, these high schoolers are being pressured into these decisions that are being put on a 2, 3, 4 week time span. And it's like, this is not what college football is supposed to be.
no.
Like, this is
I
just
train that, and
ridiculous.
that's crazy. Like I literally train that. Like I have a kid right now. His name's Austin Kerr. He's in Harrisburg, PA. Very talented. He's a freshman. He goes to Bishop McDevitt, one of it's a powerhouse in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And I mean, his dad literally pays for sessions for me to mentor him in the sense of how are you standing out at camps? Like your dad's and family is paying for these camps. Like we go through talk tracks, like it's a sales class. Like what are you saying to the coaches that's making you stand out? And that we've been repping it, and he's not even the starter right now. He is really good. Like I mean, he is talented. I made him a whole camp list. I said, you're going to go to YSU, you're going to go to Toledo, you're going to go to Bowling Green, and you're going to go hit this mega camp in Miami of Ohio. But he's been literally selling himself, and his dad's bought into it. And he's selling himself, and um, he goes to Miami of Ohio. He hit him with multiple different touch points as if he was in sales. Sent out the email, sent out the Twitter blast, the Instagram, shot him a text, called, left a voicemail. He goes to Miami. He gets a scholarship because they knew who he was, and it's like,
Right.
but that's kind of like what you have to do. And like, that's almost something that I feel like if you are in my shoes, like you have to separate yourself. Like that's what matters more than me going up and lining a couple cones up and showing you how to throw the good old football. Like if
Right.
you're in that position, if you're juniors, like in high school, like that is a key product on what we do within our company. So
100%. And I think I mean, that's great. I think, you're, and I'm sure, I'm obviously away from the high school game per se, like obviously recruiting kids and whatnot, but, um, I think those conversations are happening probably more often now, hopefully, with these, private quarterback coaches like yourself. And hopefully, high school coaches in general are, setting their kids up for success. And, maybe some of them aren't. You probably know a lot more than me in that whole world.
yeah, I mean, it's pretty sad. I
But
mean, especially with the amount of talent that we have in Florida.
mhm.
That's why I've always said it since I moved here. Like Ohio football is 10 times better than Florida football in just general. Like, yeah, there's better athletes, but they get to play year round. We play baseball, basketball, football. Like we play baseball,
Yep.
basketball, track. Like we play 3 to 4 sports because like we have massive amounts of snow. Like just like you in North Dakota.
Right.
Like we can't
Yep.
throw the football around in November. Um, so the coaching staff, like just in general, coaching is really poor down here. Lots of really good coaches, but they're just again they're underpaid. They're overlooked. They're not getting the same attention as you would get at these Catholic schools. And I do want to shout out like Coach Paul, he's at Gibbs High School, and then Coach Wood at Chamberlain High School. Two very, very, very genius coaches and doing very well for the community, like doing a lot for their team, and they get no credit. So, but yeah, to piggyback off that, that's kind of how I feel about all that.
That's insane. And so, we're gonna kind of touch a little bit more on your playing career because it's so unique. Like this is a very like Taysom Hill
Correct.
type situation. But and obviously, like you said, you played receiver as well as quarterback in high school. But with the game in college, like how did playing receiver change the way that you looked at the quarterback position?
I would say it made me realize that I've seen the game 5 yards back so much better than seeing the game on the line of scrimmage. It's such a different perspective. It's literally like two different camera
Right.
angles, right? So it's like if I filmed you from the wide angle and then I filmed you for there, you're able to see different things. So like when you're actually running routes and you're doing these things, it's like when you catch the ball, it's a totally different like it's I mean obviously it's a different position, but it's like its own you have to be gifted at it because I was gifted because of my speed. I was good with the ball in my hands. But the thing is, when you catch like a 12-yard curl, right? And I'm coming back to the ball and you catch a curl, you're now looking at the quarterback and you're looking at the line of scrimmage and you don't know what's right, left. You don't know what's going on. So again, it's very difficult. Like it's very difficult, but it also does help you as a quarterback because you understand the frustration. You understand the frustration on why there's arguments on the sideline. You understand why it's important to block. You understand a lot more things. So I think that honestly, like low key, it did help my playing career after it was all said and done because I was able to understand what timing really is, why it's important to block, why it's important to be a team, to not complain. But I was able to use those things at Alfred and then get everybody to be as one unit. And that's why we were super successful at starting, almost 8 freshmen, and I was the only senior on the field. So
That's insane.
yeah, it was, but that's what it was. It just took like one team as one unit, not a bunch of different me players. So
Right. And I mean, you see that a lot is like, yes, a team maybe isn't the most talented, but when everybody's playing as one cohesive unit, 11 guys playing all together instead of, a bunch of individuals, like those teams go very far.
we just
And they're
removed
tough
one.
to beat.
We just removed a guy from Philly, so we'll see how that does. Because I
Yep.
think,
That
hey, I don't know. I mean, I feel very good about the team. I've always felt very good about the team until we got him. And yeah, he's an immaculate weapon at Philly, and I wish him nothing but the best. But at the same time, like team chemistry, and if there's drama between the quarterback and the receiver, it almost gives you McNabb and Terrell Owens vibes. It's like, why are we doing this when we're
yep.
so talented? Like let's win football games, but
Right.
that's what happens when you get athletes and, they want to have the me and not we. So
As a quarterback once said, got to keep the main thing.
yeah, win the damn game. That's
Exactly,
all we
exactly.
care about.
So, yeah. So, with your playing
Yeah.
career, you've kind of played a little bit all over. What do you think? And I know we've kind of touched on this a little bit already, but what do you think is a misconception people, whether it's high schoolers or fans or just, the general public have about small school athletes, whether it's Division two, Division three, NAIA?
I would say the biggest misconception is they think that just because you play on Saturday and there's not 20,000 fans, 40,000 fans screaming, right? It'd be great to do that. I've never got to experience that, so I can't really speak on behalf of that. But I would say one of the biggest misconceptions of playing, I mean, essentially, I did play at all three levels when you think about it, like Division One, Division Two, and Division Three. Um,
Right.
and I would say that from high school when you get to Division Three, I would say about maybe you're going against maybe five players that are like everybody's solid, but like you're going against five players like on that team, whether it's offense, defense, that are really good, like really, really good, and they should be playing up. Um, Again, hence me in general, but I ended up there and I made the best of it. Same with Division Two. Division Two is a bunch of athletes. It could have been grades, it could have been getting in trouble, it could have been anything. But there are probably 8 to 10 of them on each side of the ball that are like, okay, they're either borderline Division Two or they're Division One. And then obviously with Division One, it's like you have a bunch of just height, and they're maybe not developed yet. Meaning like I'm 6'5" and I'm throwing the football, but I saw the vision of okay, I want a pocket style quarterback, but he's not developed. So it's like I to believe it or not, I know more people that played Division Three and NIAA that are still currently playing football right now than people that I've played with at Division One and Division Two that are at home working normal jobs, managers at Publix. And those are the
Right.
same kids and people that would trash talk essentially kind of playing at a down school. But again, I'm not playing, so I'm not saying that I was, you know, doing it all. But at the same time, like I can at least say that there are more people that I can list right now. If you look at the arena football rosters, there are more Division Three NIAA teams. I mean, players that are currently playing right now. And if you looked at them, I mean, I can name five quarterbacks right now that are playing right now in the NIAA. I mean, that are playing in the Arena Football League that were Division Three or NIAA. And some of them are my good friends. Like I played against Dante DeSantos, and he's one of the quarterbacks somewhere in the middle of Green Bay Blizzard or Iowa,
Yep.
whatever. He played at UMass Dartmouth. I played against him in our first ever bowl game at Alfred State. Um, Tyler and Josh Kalka, they're two of the best quarterbacks in arena football. They played in NIAA, Lawrence Tech, and that one that's in Indiana. So it's like the misconception is like, would you rather chase the jersey and get a couple pictures on the sideline and post it on your Facebook and Instagram, or would you actually rather play football and do what you kind of started and the game that you fell in love with? And that's again, I can't really answer that for them, or you can't, but I can tell you it's much more fun playing and winning football games and throwing touchdowns than sitting on the sidelines and sending a picture to Facebook and Instagram and saying, tough loss when again you squirted some water in your mouth for 4 years. Like I just it's a
Right.
frustrating thing because there's so much talent. There's so much talent and everybody's just worried about the things that don't matter. So
100%. And I think, and I know there's a lot of people that know who this guy is just because of his social media following, but I think
oh
one of
God,
the perfect examples
don't say it.
that you're talking about is adventure athlete. Is it
Oh
Clark
no, yeah,
Clark
Clark, yeah, I know Clark Hazelith or whatever.
Haslow? Yeah.
I thought you were going to talk
I
about
mean,
first down training, but
no, 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 no. But like that guy, Clark has literally played all over the world.
yeah,
And like he's just playing football, like living the dream. Guy's been to Japan, Australia,
Yeah, he
Mexico.
lives the life.
Like
He lives the life.
he's living the life.
Yep.
He is everybody looks at the NFL players and all that kind of stuff, but like he is like the international
Yeah.
superstar that, Jalen Hurts is to America.
Yep.
Like it's
He is.
unreal. Um, but like you said, like I 100% agree. I think that people just get so hyper fixated on Division 1 or bust. And at the end of the day, like you should want to just play, you
Yeah,
know?
dream, like still do it, right? Like work extremely hard day in and day out to get that offer, but earn your offer. I mean, parents are paying for offers at this point. It's like
Yep.
I mean, it is what it is, but it's like earn your offer, go play on Saturdays. If you're gifted enough to go play for a Texas A&M and get to experience that, then 1000% go do it. If you want the Baker story, like the jersey behind, like that is my favorite quarterback of all time, then 1000% go walk on and at least give it a try, but don't quit or don't go play for somewhere like if you're not gonna actually like put everything into it. So
Right.
but that's just me.
Yep. No, I agree, like I said. So, you kinda lived that dream a little bit with, briefly with Albany, was it the Empire?
Hmm.
Um, and I know we've already kinda touched on the whole Antonio Brown thing, but like like what was the time frame? So, you get signed, what was it? Late 2022 by the Empire,
Yeah,
and then
it was like right
AB
after.
bought them in like December of that year, right?
Yeah, it was just very quick. It was 4 or 5 months like after. Not even that because I we had an All-Star game that was in New York, and I remember coming home and finding out that there's reports that AB's looking at buying the Empire with his dad playing there. And it's like it's Twitter, so you can't really like believe much. And then I want to say I got home 2 weeks in. It was like he was like getting off the private jet at Albany, and I'm like, what the heck is going on here? Um, and I wasn't really close with like the coach at the time because I was brand new, right? I was going into camp. Nobody really knows me. He was gonna put me in that Tyson Hill kind of figure for the arena ball, like play tight end, and I'm like, I'm not playing tight end. That's crazy, but um, yeah. Then he ended up obviously, buying them, and it was just a complete disaster. And I had a lot of like supportive people at that time in my life, like kind of telling me like I don't know if it's a great idea, because I'm like I said, my son was just born. I was bouncing around schools. Like I didn't want to have essentially my family kind of like going with me everywhere, and it's like I don't know how old I was. I was 25. It's like I'm 25 at this point. Like let it go, let it go.
Right.
So, but yeah, that was crazy. I've had a lot of people that I met that played with them, and they just like again left them after the game because they were dropping passes and like saying like, hey, like you have to pay for your own hotel. You're not getting paid. That it was back pay, and like people were just like not even eating. It was just like it was like the Fire Music
That's
Festival.
insane.
Remember that?
Yeah, right? Dude, I'm telling you, like, I remember when all that kind of just first broke, and then, as the months went on, it just kind of progressively got worse. And then there was a point too, I think that like AB was actually practicing with the team or something. Like the clips were coming out that he was like catching passes, and I'm like, what are we doing right now?
Yeah.
Like,
What he has a lot of stuff going on mentally, which is stuff that you can't really control. And that's kind of like again, like everybody sees him as this like crazy human being, but it's like again, the sport that you're playing is like a very dangerous sport. Like it's a very dangerous sport. And at that time where, when football wasn't soft, like he wasn't scared to go across the middle at 5'8", like he wasn't
and
scared to
then
do that. Um,
yeah, and get laid out by was it Vontez Perfect that everybody
somebody.
says was yeah, it was the Bengals game
Yeah.
where he gets like blown up, and that's what everybody contributes to
But look at Brandon
how
Nuke or
yeah,
whatever how you say his last name. He's like off his rocker too right now. It's like But again, everybody just comments and they don't really know what really goes on mentally. And, very well, like I could have easily, like with a lot of stuff that's happened in my life, like that I've seen out of these two eyes, like I could have very well went off the deep end and, um, you know, but nobody would have known. Like you go on my Instagram, you talk to me and thing, it's like you would have never known. But like, yeah, mentally, like I was just not in a good state. Like it was hard to, like look up in the stands and like knowing that I like put all this work in for my senior year and then all of a sudden my mom passed away 20 minutes before coin toss and I look over there and it's like there's nobody there. First game ever in my life that my mom never was there. It's like, I just got chills from thinking about it because I'd never forget it. It's like, um, from that, like I said, from that point on, it's just you either sink or swim, and there's a lot of people mentally that don't have like a lot good support system, and then they sink, and things like this happen.
Right.
So
That's like I said, that's insane, and I couldn't imagine going through that. Um, so we're kind of on the topic with arena football. How difficult was it for you to switch from a normal field that's 53 and a third wide to the tiny field of arena football that's what 80 yards, including the end zones?
yeah, it's when I was training for it, the best way to describe it, it's like sitting in obviously it's like a hockey rink. It's
Hmm.
very fast paced, but like as an outsider, again, like that camera view, when you're looking at it, it feels very small, but it's enough to like move. It's enough to like get creative. And I honestly truly do believe that I would have had a very successful career playing it just because of my style of play,
Right.
being able to play multiple positions in the arena football. Like, I think that I would have had a successful career because it's made for backyard football players, in my sense. It feels like it. Um, so if you're good at backyard football and like, I honestly think anybody can play that damn sport. I train people at the park and it's like I watch them play seven on like flag and I'm like, some of these athletes I'm like are just filthy. And like I think it's a
Yep.
sport that anybody can play. I think it's different than it is. Arena is not real football. Flag football is not real football. It's like its own sport. People don't know that just because it's a football, but it's its own little sport.
Yep. Now, this is going to be a very controversial question.
Oh God.
So, and I know you kind of just touched on it, but do you think that a Patrick Mahomes or a Tom Brady or like some of these like superstar best of the best NFL quarterbacks could actually like dominate arena football? Because like you said, like yes, it's football, but arena's different from the NFL, and flag football is different from both of those. And we saw a team loaded with NFL players get absolutely slapped around by a flag football Team USA team. Like, do you think like a Patrick Mahomes could dominate though?
I think it depends on the style of quarterback.
Sure.
Because how I look at it is, and I don't want to mention names because I do know them kind of personally, but there are two guys that were playing in the NFL. They came to a specific team that I was probably going to go to, and they shit the bed. And they were more so pro style, very slow quarterbacks. And because you have to be accurate. You have like yeah, there's a lot of deep balls and it's like stuff like that. But I think quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes would have been very creative and crafty in it just because, again, it's like you're getting the ball out very quick, you're getting different arm angles, you're extending the play. I think quarterbacks like obviously Josh Allen would have, I don't even think you would have been able to tackle him. But like when you look at quarterbacks um, like, think about like Aaron Rodgers and stuff like that. It's like I don't think it would be a good fit. I think Aaron Rodgers is probably the most talented quarterback of all time. He's my favorite GOAT, to be honest. Like I think he's the most talented quarterback of all time. But I just don't see him I don't see it being the same as it is in the NFL because he makes his throws because he has space and he has the
Right.
creative matter of sitting in the pocket and making, what he needs to. But it's just too close. It's a different game. I think you have to be a little bit mobile to be able to extend the plays. Back in his prime, he was a little bit more mobile, but Um, I think yeah, it's a type of player. Taysom Hill would have been a
100%.
freak.
Dude, he would have been unreal. You know who looked like he was going to be a freak until I think he tore his ACL actually this season? Paxton Lynch.
Oh yeah,
So everybody forgot Paxton Lynch existed. And then I'm just scrolling on Twitter one
he
night
was playing with.
and
Was
I'm
it
seeing,
when it was with Denver when he went down, right or no?
yeah, yeah. And then I don't know who he's playing with or was playing with. He got hurt like week 3 or week 4. I think he's in the indoor football league, the IFL. Um, Maybe I'm wrong, but whoever he's playing with in the arena league this year, like I'm seeing these videos coming out, and he's obviously the field's shorter, but he's throwing these 40-yard passes, catching receivers are catching passes on the run. Um, and now one of the unique things with Paxton Lynch, when he was at Memphis, like he was a runner, he was a tall dude. He was a poor man's version of Josh Allen. Let's just like
Yeah,
that's probably the perfect way to put him. But like he's lighting up the scoreboard, and I'm like, is this the same Paxton Lynch we saw throw, 4 interceptions and a half for the Broncos? Like, what is
yeah,
this? And I think you touched it. Like it is truly it's the same game, but it's different. And you're right. It's like a case by case basis of like a Ben Roethlisberger probably couldn't play. Old Ben Roethlisberger for sure
yeah,
couldn't play arena football,
yeah.
or Tom Brady. That just wouldn't
It's
work.
just a different sport. I think
Um,
you just have to like give it a try, and you're either going to be good at it or not. But it is very
right.
unique. Like let's just say you're throwing a bang eight, like it's no longer a bang eight anymore because again, like you're throwing it from the hash now. Like you're not throwing it from on the
Right.
numbers. So it's more of a skinny post kind of thing, and it's like it's more in front of your face. Like you have to throw over the top. Like windows are a little bit smaller. Um, but if you watch arena football, it's like you're throwing a lot of deep routes. There's very few where you're like sitting in the pocket going through a full progression where it's like, dig, post, cross, throw. It's like it's either fade,
Right.
post, dig, or you're running. So,
Hmm. Yep. Yep. And so we're gonna shift some gears
all right.
here. So we're gonna talk WWE. Now I don't know anything about the WWE, but like that is insane. So how did the process go of like being reached out? Like was it just randomly one day they reached out via email or something and was like, hey dude, like we want you to come try out for the WWE.
Yeah, so I just got hired by Jenkins Elite and I was in Houston training for the job. Because again, like I said, this is like a massive company. Like they don't like it's a legit quarterback company, salary, commissions, bonuses, like it's legit. So we were there training and I ended up getting an email, like I mean a direct message, and they were like, hey, are you free for a Zoom call? We love your story, yada yada yada. Cause like if you go on my Instagram at that time, like you see, my mom passing away, you saw my best friend passing away, you saw me playing football. They're like, what the heck is going on? I don't know how it happened, but took the call, and I remember his Brad is just sitting there and they're all wearing like WWE, like the logo shirts. There's like 15 of them.
Yep.
And I like answer the phone, like, I was kind of chuckling in a sense because it was just like, they all looked like created WWE characters, like sitting at me at this table. And I'm just like, 7 a.m. about to go coach some kids and I'm just drinking coffee. And I'm like, how we doing? And I don't know. They just like loved my personality and thought I was funny and wanted to. I think the vision was because I don't know if you cropped down a little bit how long my hair was, but my
Dude,
hair was down to,
it was
yeah,
insane.
yes.
Like you had like oh
Roman
gosh, what's the
Reigns,
movie?
Edge, all those things.
Oh, it was what's the movie with William Wallace? Braveheart. You had like the
Oh
Braveheart
yeah,
logo.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Dude, it was
yeah.
unreal.
Mel Gibson.
Yeah, there we go.
Um, yeah. So I mean, I thought it would have been a cool thing. I mean, I was a huge WWE fan at the time. Not at that time, but like growing up. So hearing, Shawn Michaels kind of reach out to me and saying like, hey, would love to obviously, work on, your craft and like your skill, and like that is the WWE is like no joke. Like I'm not even lying. It is like it's one of those things. It's like you go to and you're like, okay, um, it's wrestling. Like what to expect? But this is like legit. This is the NFL essentially, right? This is the training, the training camp that you go through. It was some of the hardest training I have ever done in my life, and I have videos of it. I'll have to text you them. They're absolutely just insane. You're rolling, like front roll, back bump, back flip, cartwheel, jump off the rope, do this, and it's like you're going so fast, and you're just like people are puking. We have like some of the best athletes in the world, like at this time, like competing to on the TV show to get a spot in the WWE. It's best athletes. So you're not competing with Joe that's working in the basement with his, for this WWE career. Like you're competing against guys that you just watch play on Saturday mornings, like to potentially be in the WWE. So, I mean, it was definitely a great experience for sure.
Right. If you could, this is just total putting you on the spot here. If you could put any athlete, regardless of sport, past or present, in the WWE, who do you think would be like the most successful?
I feel like there could
It's
be
a tough
so
question.
many. That's why they're recruiting like sports, just people in sports, because I feel like there's so many. Um, I would say honestly, Um, I think Jason Kelsey, Travis Kelsey, just they have it. They have the aura of like who they are from Ohio. Like
Yeah.
you can tell if somebody's from Ohio. I don't know if you know that or not, but if you've been around a little bit, you can
How
tell.
do you tell? How do you tell?
I don't know. I can just tell. I can smell them from a mile away. Like if they're from Ohio or not. Same with Philly. Like I mean, I was just telling my fiance like the other day. I was like, she's from Philly, and she
Mhm.
doesn't know much about it. She's like, I thought Philly people are like mean and this and that. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like we have the best fan base in the world. I almost threw her off the damn
Right.
yeah. I was threw her off the damn couch. But yeah. I mean, uh, I would say the Kelsey brothers for sure. I think would be very fun to watch. I think that past. I think like Luke
Mm.
Kuechly, AJ Hawk would have been very fun to like watch. Um, Christian McCaffrey would be like a stud. Like I'm talking. I mean, let's be honest. Like Christian McCaffrey is that guy, right? So it's like I
100%.
think that he would be like the Cody Rhodes. I don't know if you know who Cody Rhodes is, but he would be like
Mhm.
the face of the WWE. But again, look at Jake and Logan Paul. Like you can put people in it as long as you're willing to submit yourself to the role. And that was something that is like for me, I'm not a mean person. They wanted me to be like the mean guy. And I have a video of it. I'm like screaming in the microphone, my eyes all painted, and I'm like, I don't even know what I was saying, but I'll show you. I'll send you videos of all of them, but they're hilarious. So
That's I mean, I totally see the whole Kelsey brother thing. I mean, I just instantly when you said Travis Kelsey, I thought of what was it, the AFC Championship game against the Cincinnati Bengals when they gave him the mic after the Chiefs won, and he's like calling out the Cincinnati mayor, and he's like, "Know your role and stay in your lane" or something like that. I was like, that instantly
yeah,
clicked in my head. I'm like, dude, you might be onto something. Like once Travis Kelsey retires,
I think it'd be a good
the
fit.
WWE might be, yeah,
I
that might
mean,
be his calling.
why not? I mean, WWE
Yeah.
is just like the NIL right now. It's like again, people are saying like, "Oh, I would never go do the WWE." It's like, okay, then you don't want to be on a Pepsi commercial, or you don't
Right.
want to be
Right.
signed by Mountain Dew as well. Like, what do you think, Jake Paul? I mean, Logan Paul really wants to do that? It's like he's
Right.
so
Right.
busy, he has a million things going on, but you know how much money that brings him from like Prime and all of his brand deals that he's trying to do. It's like he doesn't practice like they're doing at the performance center in Orlando. It's like he shows up maybe once a week, does his thing, and then just like he just free balls it. He's just like I'm jumping,
Right.
flipping off ropes, but it's a cool thing. You gotta watch it. I don't know if you watched it recently, but it's fun.
I I've never really gotten into it. Like I'll see like the clips on Twitter and stuff. And I think the thing for me is knowing that it's not real, but it is, like, yes, they're like somebody could get hurt, but like knowing that it's in a sense kind of scripted was one of those things growing up where I was like, they already know who's gonna win. Like, why am I gonna watch this? And like that's what weirdly shifted me to like the UFC
Oh yeah.
was like, I'm gonna it's the same thing, but it's not. But the UFC I know is not
Well, they
rigged.
bought
Like,
them out, so that's why. I mean, they get
yeah,
it. You know, they get it. They have
yep,
now they control the whole fighting organization from kids all the way to parents. So
right. It's
Dana
crazy.
White's a genius.
Absolutely insane. Yep. So now we're gonna switch to the current life. Owner of Ultimate Quarterback.
Correct.
So first off, good for you.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Insane stuff.
Appreciate it.
What, and I know we've talked about it here the last hour or so. What tools do you think are the most important for like the next generation of quarterbacks to not only have, but for private coaches like yourself to develop in these quarterbacks that are up and coming, not only on the field but also off the field?
You said equipment or like, I mean,
Or no, like what tools, like
I think a plan.
whether it's
I think I
yes,
would
okay,
say somebody that is experienced enough that can get you a 12-week plan. That's what we're doing right now, of course. But I think that having a plan is the best way to go because as athletes, like we've been given plans our entire life. And there's a lot of quarterback coaches in the world that kind of just go off script. They don't have a plan at all. They kind of just show up, collect money. Yeah, they work on some drills, but again, I mean, I don't like to talk about them much, but it's the first down training guy. It's like guy makes I mean, he's very smart marketing guy. Never played a lick of football. I mean, I'm sure you've seen his videos. They're very cringy. It's like, but parents are paying an arm and a leg because he's organized. He has a plan, and I have kids that actually train with his team. Like he's not doing the training. He is not doing any of the training. Yeah, you see the videos of him at the camp where it's like I have a video of him literally teaching somebody of him not even looking at the kid and giving him corrections, and it's just like but parents are paying it. So it's a good marketer. So I'm not mad about it. But I would say for any kid, honestly, it's having a plan and a structure of being able to stay organized throughout your process. Because again, kids are busy. You need to know your development from the start to finish. You can't just show up and I'm here for an hour. We're going to throw the ball. We're going to work post dig on this concept. It's like, it's good to work that, but like fundamentally you got to have a plan and work on things every single day the same way as NFL athletes. It's like they have stuff they have to work on every single day. It's just they just don't see it. But that's what we do at Ultimate Quarterback is I mean we try to be different in the sense of yeah our practices are probably not going to be boring, but like I don't work off platform throws because if you can't throw a 5 yard speed out, then I'm not making you roll out to the right, throw off your back foot because it looks cool for videos. Like
right,
that's just the
yeah,
way we are.
100%. Yeah, I mean, there's no sense in jumping to point C or D when you can't do the basics. Like,
Yep. And
and you see it all literally, like, even with myself when I was, growing up through high school and whatnot. So I had two different, I guess, three different private quarterback coaches that I went to. The first one that I went to, won't say his name, was not a fan. And then the one that are like, the second private quarterback coach was also ended up being like the co-offensive coordinator at the high school that I was at, so I don't really count that. But like he played at NAU and then with the Chicago Bears, so like he's been through it all. The one that like I really attribute, a lot of stuff that I've learned over the years was Rudy Carpenter. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
mm-mm.
He's in Arizona, but that was his thing the entire time was like, look, like we do these group sessions. Not every single quarterback is created equally. Like there's certain things that you're good at that I'm not good at. So why am I going to put every kid into the same mold and like we're doing all the same stuff? Like not everybody needs to work the same
Yep.
thing. So, I think that's a great thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
And with that, like, how so you talk about the plan, like how do you help develop these quarterbacks that you work with? Like what, like I said, you talk about the plan. Are you, like, obviously you're helping off the field with
Yeah.
navigating the transfer portal and all that kind of stuff. Like what would somebody that has never worked with you before expect on like a normal practice, or, let's say a month working with you?
Yeah, I would say all kids start off with an evaluation. So a parent reaches out, and it's like, hey, like would love obviously to get my kid training. And I'm like, great. Well, let's see him first. So get him out for an evaluation. Evaluation's about an hour and a half. We kind of go through a list of things like I want to see how good you move. I want to see you throw to the right. I want to see you throw to the left. I want to see you roll out to the left. I want to see you roll out to the right. I try to put him in like as many uncomfortable positions as I can so I can kind of get a true idea of what he's good at and what he's not good at. And then yeah, well then we'll record maybe 5 or 6 different throws from 5 different angles of him doing those things. And then obviously we talk a little bit, we show him a little bit, so that like if he doesn't work with me and he wants to obviously pursue other coaches, like at least like I'm gonna give him something to go home with. Like so I walk through a warm up, I walk through different things that he can do at home because I'm not the cheapest coach, and I'm okay with that. So um, and I'll work with parents, but like again, like I'm not gonna again like I know the worth and the value of what we're bringing there, so I give them a lot there so that they are getting their money's worth. But I'll type out a full report. They get a full evaluation report on what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong. And then I plug that video that I did take and I plug it in our software that we created. It's called QB Vision AI. And it's essentially an AI tool that will then take your biomechanics from your upper and lower body mechanics, and it tracks every single quarterback in the NFL right now from what they do right and wrong, and it matches them. So I can see
No
exactly
way.
what's going on because it backs it up, and that's what again, um, that's what separates us because instead of me going and saying, "Hey, little Timmy is not doing good," I recommend 10 sessions. It's going to be $1,000, and it's like, where's the plan? And that's what a lot of quarterback coaches do. But I have now a software that's able to back it up. I have a written report of the entire plan of what we're going to do for the next 6 to 12 weeks. And then we'll reevaluate. Just like if you're in a sales company, we have our quarterly meetings. I hop on a Zoom meeting with like their parents and I'm like, hey, you know, Timmy started off here and now he's here. His mechanics wise are here. Here's this. Again, take that first video of him training and I take the second video and it's like, this is where we start to turn it up a notch now. Okay. Like then we start getting them into like the mentorship. We start getting them into, our virtual sessions when he's at home. We get him in a 12-week plan. I mean, I'm looking at right now a 115-page strength and conditioning plan that we're going to be implementing. So it's like, it's a plan. If you want to be a Division 1 athlete, you need to practice and prepare like a Division 1 athlete. But until then, you going out and, with a quarterback coach and throwing the ball to receivers, it's like your parents are wasting money, and I don't let parents waste money at all. I'll send the kid
Right.
home if they're not locked in. Um, it's just how it is. Because again, I didn't come home. I didn't come from any of that. So,
Right.
and it's not cheap. So it's kind of I guess what
100%.
you get out of it.
Yep. And do you think, especially now with how college football is and the NIL and all that kind of stuff, do you think it's kind of important to, for a quarterback specifically, to have a private quarterback coach? Because, you know, high school coaches, I feel like more often than not, are going to tell guys what they want to hear. And you're being paid by, their parents and whatnot, but like you're like a third party.
Hmm.
Like, yes, their success matters to you, but at the same time, it's
Head coach doesn't care.
and also like if they win or lose, does not affect you at all.
No.
Like in high school. So, do you think it's important to have a private quarterback coach or somebody there that's like a third party for, these specifically speaking, quarterbacks going through high school and entering college?
Yeah, I think that it's extremely important. I think it is, think about my situation, and I'm sure I'm not the only person in the world, but it's like not having somebody in your corner to kind of help you through this process of, how to get better, how to have somebody that pushes you, how to have somebody that, gives you mentorship, how to have somebody help you with NIL and recruiting and to do all those things. I think it's extremely important, especially at a young age, because that's honestly like at a youth age is which my favorite age group is. There's a huge drop off from middle school and youth, and a lot of that is these youth kids, they go off of little league coaches, and I'm sure you know how little league coaches are. They're not the best, but again, like, I support them and I'm glad that they're out there. They're taking volunteer time to be out there drawing X and O's in the middle of Florida heat, but they've never played football. They're not really a great mentor off the field. And this is what the youth kids are getting. So I definitely do recommend every quarterback of all ages, from five all the way through obviously professionals like pros. It's just good to have like a guy, like, I mean, like, think about like when you're playing quarterback, even your backup, right? Like if you guys were boys, like just having that support system and being able to um, just ask questions that you two would only know. It feels good. I have kids that all my kids text me all throughout the night, like sometimes like throughout the day, and like it honestly makes me feel good in the sense that they have that comfort and relationship with me. Parents, same thing, inviting me to trips like all over the world, and it's like that I feel good about that is because like they trust me enough, the fact that I mean well and that I'm going to get their kids to the next level. And that's been my vision since day one. So I do highly recommend that.
Right. And when some of these kids, because I'm sure, what states again are you guys kind of offering
Yeah,
coaching?
so we have it in Michigan, Ohio, now Ohio, but Michigan, Ohio, Florida, Nashville, Alabama, and then we'll be on the east side of Miami once Coach Steve gets back from playing overseas. He's in like Germany or
Yep.
something like that right now. So
Gotcha. Yeah. So, with you guys coaching kind of all over the country now, when like a young quarterback comes up to you, now this is probably more high school, you're looking like the sophomore, junior age group, but like when these younger quarterbacks come up to you and, they feel like they're completely overlooked by all the colleges and whatnot, do you in a sense kind of see like a little bit of yourself in some of these guys or?
yep, 1000%, and that's why I love mentorship, and I love just hopping on calls and talking X and O's. But it's giving them the plan, right? It's like giving them everything that I wish I would have had in a coach to kind of get me to the
Right.
next level, but at least give me guidance and at least educate the parents that there's schools out there that, regardless if it's Division 1, that mean very well. And this is the best example I'll give, and I'm so glad that it's happened. I coach a kid, and his name's Seven, which is a really kick-ass name. His name's Seven, and he ended up basically tearing his glute during the season. He wanted to probably never, never play football again, and it was a very painful injury. I invited him to come out, hey, throw the ball, and I'm like, dude, you're ripping the ball right now. And his like, again, like, family had no idea about anything I proposed to him. I said, listen, like, do you want to play? Like, do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? And he agreed. He's like, yeah, I want to do it. We got him on a plan. He's now going to go play at Alfred State where I played, and he'll probably break every single record that I ever had there. He's so talented. In my opinion, he's like a Division 2 guy, NIAA guy. So I think it's a very cool story where one of my kids are going to go play at the same high school, the same college. I'm going to be able to go watch, and he'll probably break every record. So um, I do see that a lot, where it's just like kids ask me all the time, like, "Hey, what should I do, or what can I do?" And then I'm just giving them truth, honesty, and just mentorship in a sense of what I would have done, because I was in their shoes,
Right.
but in like in every platform. I've done it all. So I don't think there's any other person I would have rather went to other than somebody like me when I was your age. So,
Right. And last question
all right.
here, to kind of wrap this all up. Now, I did some deep dive into
Oh
this.
God.
Now, I know you've talked about Baker Mayfield being your
Yeah.
best player, your favorite player, and whatnot. So you did an interview all the way back in 2023 with, I believe it was Draft Diamonds, and they asked you if you could spend time hanging out with one former or current NFL player, who would it be? And you said Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
Now, this is kind of a full circle moment, I feel like, for
Yeah.
you, because recently you just actually worked alongside with Baker
Yeah.
Mayfield at his camp. What was that experience like? And was like the young kid in you just like exploding knowing that like you're working with Baker Mayfield?
Dude, I promise you, I don't even know how to explain how that feeling was. I mean, it was the closest feeling of like scoring a touchdown, like running in a touchdown, or throwing a touchdown, an adrenaline rush. But I mean, being able to be that close to him, having him come up. I'm sure you saw the video. Yeah, having him come up and just talking about football. Um, it's actually funny because we actually played Fortnite together multiple times during COVID, and
Wait a minute, wait a minute. You and Baker Mayfield played Fortnite
yeah,
together?
that's kind of like what we talked about. We were laughing in the video, but like we were laughing because like something that happened during that he remembered it and I remember it. But like again, like I mean a grown ass man, I'm not gonna like be like over the phone, just over the
Right.
microphone, just like, oh my god, I'm your favorite, like blah blah blah. But if you know me, I mean, if you know me from, since I was in high school, it's like Baker's always been my favorite player of all time. Him going to Cleveland was just no better place to go. And then everybody said it too, right? When I moved to Florida and he came here, everybody's like, dude, you guys are bound to meet. So being able to go meet him and just talk, a little bit about football and being able to like, just kind of be in that presence of somebody and just kind of just chatting. And it just kind of like fired me up in a direction of like, I'm right there, right? I'm this close, and I would love obviously to, have the opportunity to kind of, have a session or two, like just to kind of work with you and just like see how you spin the ball around a little bit. But um, that's just kind of where I'm at. It's a huge motivator for me to kind of get to that next step, which I believe is just going to be that draft prep, help mentor kids all the way through from youth through varsity in college, get them ready for the pros, get them to be that next Baker Mayfield, get them to be that next person that's going to have like that dog in them that's not going to play soft and go, play for a school where they know they're just going to have a jersey. Like I'm going to train players that are going to perform on Saturdays and I will like no without no doubt within the next year or two I will be coaching a couple NFL guys and it's not a doubt in my mind. The world's about networking. I feel like that's what everybody knows me for. So, but yeah, overall it was an unreal experience.
Dude, that's insane. Baker's also um probably number 2 for me, favorite quarterback of all time. Being a big Eagles fan, Nick Foles will always be in that number 1 spot in my heart.
Well, I
Um,
wouldn't see a
but
surprising trade if they don't pay him, and you didn't hear from
you
me,
never
but
know.
just for maybe a reunion in Cleveland or a Jalen Hurts Baker swap, I would
You know,
shit my pants. I would shit.
I don't I'm a Jalen Hurts guy, but I would only be okay if Jalen Hurts was not the Philadelphia Eagles quarterback if Baker Mayfield was in Philly or Tom Brady came out of retirement again and decided to play for the Birds. Those are the only 2 things that would say, "You know what? I'm good with
Yeah,
it."
I mean, I'm rocking 1,000% with Baker. I mean, I don't care where he goes. Like, I'll always be an Eagles fan, but like, yeah, I mean, I've been going to the Eagles Bucks games every year since when they come here, and it's like, I'm kind
It's a
of,
guaranteed loss for the Eagles.
what's up?
I said that's a guaranteed loss for the Eagles every
Yeah, I'm
year.
just like, I'm gonna probably I'm gonna wear. I think I wore my Devontae Smith jersey, but like, no, I wore my Jalen Hurts jersey, the number 2 one, but uh, yeah, if
Yep.
Baker came to Philly like that, I mean, I think just like the way the city is, I think that that town would burn down every single Sunday on a win because of who he is as a person. It's the same thing as Cleveland. The way the fan base is like, and that's what I asked him. That was one of the things I said. What was your favorite game? What was your favorite experience? And he said that Thursday night football when Tyrod Taylor went down. The city of Cleveland hasn't won a game in over a year. He comes in, he balls the hell out, and he wins. He said, "I'll never forget that. Never forget that." So
100%. I mean, that's such an iconic game in his career
I'm
too.
probably gonna watch it after this
Um,
now.
love that. What was it? The final, I think, don't quote me on this, but I think it was
Yeah, he had the
17-16,
game
wasn't it?
winner. Yeah, he drove all the way down for the
Yep.
game winner, got the field goal. I mean, it's just like
Unreal.
he's the go.
It's
He's the
crazy.
go.
Yep.
Pay the man, so he stays in Tampa, and then I could get my opportunity to coach him. If not, I gotta go fly some other places wherever he ends up at. But
Right. You're gonna have to add some states
yeah,
potentially.
or I have to blow this up with tags, tag Baker.
Right. Right. Well, Aaron, it's been great having you
I
on.
appreciate it.
Real fast, one thing that I like to do with some of the guests that come on, just real quick, 30 seconds. If you could, like, you have an audience of whether it's youth football players or high school football players or college players or really just anybody, any athlete in general, or just people in general, what is a motivational piece that you would say to them, with your story and everything that you've gone through? Like, what is some words of advice, 30 seconds or less, that you would give?
Wow.
Putting you on the
I would
spot.
say whenever you go to bed at night, it's just you brushing your teeth, or no matter what has happened that day, throughout your year, throughout your month, through all the trial and error, like you're the only person that kind of controls your destiny, and you can't really point the finger at anybody else because you have another opportunity every single day to make your dreams come true. And at the end of the day, you can sit back kind of when you're 32 and say like, hey, I wish I would have done that, or you could still be potentially living up your dream. So I would say that again, every opportunity counts.
There we go. Couldn't have said it any better. That is a mic drop moment right there.
Fired up.
Right? Perfect. Well, Aaron, like I said, it was great having you on. And if anybody needs a private quarterback
Yes,
coach,
sir.
Aaron Jenkins is who you should be
That's what we
reaching
need
out
to do.
to.
I'll fly to North Dakota, we'll get a little session. Show me around North Dakota.
There we
Go to the
go.
local pub.
Let me tell you that AI thing that you guys created. I'm telling you, if I were to get on that thing, it would say Mark Sanchez 1000%. Me and Mark,
Uh,
we're like this. We've got some. I'm gonna say this story real fast, and then we're gonna jump off here. So Mark Sanchez has the butt fumble.
mhm.
Timbo Slice of Life 12 has the iconic first start in his career against a top 15 NAIA team on the road, their senior night, homecoming, everything. 6 picks, 3 touchdowns. Not to my team. Not all to my team. 6 picks though. So Mark Sanchez has the butt fumble. I have 6 picks. My first pass in my start was a
Mark
pick six.
Sanchez played in
Fun fact.
NIAA.
No, but I'm just saying, like, me and Mark Sanchez were like this, or Nathan Peterman. So those are my quarterback equivalents. If we're looking at collegiate career, playing
Yeah.
career kind of thing, just an iconic group. Nathan Peterman, myself, Mark Sanchez. Like it is what it
Yeah.
is. Sweet. Well, like I said, it was great having you on, and we will see everybody for next week's episode.